When it comes to cleaning up small details in the skin, the spot healing brush can really help out. So here, let's take a look at how we can use this tool with a few different photographs. I'll start off with this one here. I'll press F to go to full screen mode. Then next, what you want to do is zoom in on the image so you can view all those little teeny details that you might want to work on. You want to start to analyze the image and say, with this image, it was captured outdoors in natural light. I just want to minimize some of the freckles here and maybe remove this little jewel that she was wearing in between her eyes there. So we'll create a new layer. Click on the new layer icon. I'll go ahead and name this layer Retouch. Next step, press the J key, then Shift J. That allows you to toggle through all of your healing tools until you have the spot healing tool, or just click on the tools icon right there. Up in the options bar, we want to use Content Aware, sample all layers so that you can do your retouching to a new layer. Then in regards to the brush size, we're going to change our brush size by way of a shortcut. Right bracket key makes it bigger, left bracket key makes it smaller. And what you want to do is have a brush which is just a little bit bigger than the blemish that you're working on. So here I'm going through this and just clicking on these various little freckles that we have here. And sometimes what we're doing when we're working on little details is just taking away the things that you wouldn't notice really in real life. It's just that this is a close-up portrait, and so we're noticing these details. Or maybe stylistically, you just want to create an image which has a little bit of a cleaner look. Regardless of your goal, it's really just about selecting this tool, nice little small brush. And as you make your way through these little details, what you should feel is that you aren't really making any progress. You should be wondering, is this really worth it? Am I really making a difference by making all of these little teeny micro adjustments here? And that's because hopefully this isn't very noticeable. It's not dramatic until you get to that point where you're ready to view your before and after. So let's take a look at that here with this photograph. Now that I've gotten through a few of these little spots here, we can click on the eye icon and you can see the before and after. And if we turn off the visibility of the background layer, you can see it's all these little teeny spots here, which if I zoom in even further, so hopefully you can see this better, it just helps to create a cleaner look in the image. Again, you're going to want to go through this just a little bit at a time. If you want to work on any little wrinkles, just make the brush even smaller so it fits the size of the area that you're working on. And you can also change your zoom rate, of course. You can zoom in closer if you want to get into even some of these smaller details. All right, well, that's example number one. And in this case, natural, no makeup, outdoors, available light, working on those little teeny details, which allow us to improve the image before and after. Okay, let's jump to another image. This one was captured indoors. Now we're using window light for this portrait. So window light's really soft, and this soft window light is creating a good look. We have a shallow depth of field. So I want to work quickly on this image. To do that, I'll create a new layer, this time by way of a keyboard shortcut. Shift-Command-N on a Mac or Shift-Control-N on Windows. Name the layer Retouch and click OK. Now with our little teeny spot healing brush, same tool, we'll just go through and work on the little teeny blemishes or maybe freckles that we're noticing that we want to retouch away. If there's an object or something that we want to remove which is bigger, like this one right here, just make the brush a little bit bigger and then make sure you paint over the entire thing and then go back to those edges and just make sure your edges are good. So again, it's just about making little teeny brush strokes here with this, working on all these little blemishes. Sometimes people ignore all of this stuff and just like to get to the bigger issues in an image, but what I find is that the people who are best at retouching start small and they work on these small little issues. That really helps them to clean up the image and remove issues like we can see here, or maybe remove other elements that we have in the image, a freckle, a mole, or if you want to remove one of these little hairs, just click and drag across that. So you can see how I'm bringing these back so they're not so close onto the face. Again, using the same tool as before, spot healing brush, which really helps out with this photograph here. Okay, well, this one, it's subtle, but we can see what we've done. Lots of little brush strokes there. And as far as the little details, that's a wrap for this image. Let's look at one more. This next one is a studio portrait of a friend. And with this picture of Ashley, I'm going to zoom in really close to it. You can see again that we have good light, but we have a lot of depth of field. So we're seeing a lot of skin details. So we create a new layer. Remember the shortcut, Shift-Command-N on a Mac, Shift-Control-N on Windows. Name that layer. Also, if you forget the shortcut, you can just click on the new layer icon. And with this one, again, it's a stylistic decision as far as how much you want to retouch away. Tap the right bracket key, make my brush a little bigger. And so here I'm going through, and let's say the client says, hey, Can you get rid of this little ring right here, lip ring? Sure. Go ahead and click on that. So whether there's small blemishes or ones that are bigger, like that little ring, we can use the same exact technique. And why I wanted to show 3 images was just to show that this particular method or technique is really the same across the board. It doesn't depend upon the type of light that we have or the way the image was captured. With all these portraits, they can all benefit from a little bit of this. And what we're thinking about is that in still images, we notice things that we wouldn't notice in real life. So we're just looking to try to reduce and simplify a little bit, and we're doing so by using the spot healing brush. And hopefully, along the way, you picked up that shortcut for creating a new layer. That one's really helpful just to get your momentum as you start retouching. And to reiterate that one again, it's Shift-Command-N on a Mac, Shift-Control-N on Windows. That opens up the new layer dialog so that we can give this a layer name like retouching and then begin our retouching workflow.